And now we're live.
Yeah.
All right. Back with episode 8, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
Yep. The last one was our big failure.
Yes. And then we had to reevaluate things.
How we're doing it. You see, we're in a new set.
Yeah.
However, we are about to have our first guest on the podcast.
Yes, we are.
Right here. We have 2 guests planned for today. Our first one is Rowenta, the number 1, the most powerful, quietest fan ever made.
And we are not sponsored.
And we are not sponsored, yeah, unfortunately. It was actually a very expensive fan, so they definitely upsell you on Amazon. I forgot we need scissors for this, or something to cut the tape.
A knife.
Not with me, unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, no,
right.
yeah, you might not want to use that
Yeah.
knife. Yeah.
I'll be right back. You entertain the people, Louis.
Sure. So yeah, this is not my fan. Robert has been complaining about the fan he has now is too loud for when he's sleeping, so he needs this one. But I don't know. Seems like a very expensive thing to buy.
It is a very expensive thing to buy. It was, I don't have a mic near me. It was $100. It was definitely a ripoff. You cut this
Jeez.
side, Louis. Yeah.
So we really need some new scissors. Look at
We
these.
do. Those are really rusty and dangerous. Yeah. Yep. Nice. Did it
Cool.
get it? Did it get
Think
that
so.
one?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Cool. Now just give it a little nick right there on the top. Yep. Don't stab the fan now. Yeah, that was close.
Close.
There we go. Okay. This would have been an opportunity to use the mic stand. So
It would have, yeah. You have.
that would have been good.
They're upstairs, actually.
Yeah, there. All
But yeah,
right.
here we are.
Here it is. It comes disassembled, apparently.
Yep.
Okay. Anticlimactic. That's interesting. Here's the remote. Very small remote. Requires 2032 batteries.
Yeah, those are cool. I like
Yep.
those.
And there's some packaging. All right. Now grab the box and pull it down.
Oh, God.
I hope I'm holding this in a good spot. It's the
I
motor.
hope so.
So, no, probably not the
What
best
is
spot.
that? Is that the whole thing?
Yeah, this is the fan right here.
Sorry.
Nice. Goodbye, box. Hello.
That was really
This is an unimpressive unboxing. Normally it's like
it's like
MacBook.
gross looking even.
Yeah, it's... All right, well, here it
Scissors.
is.
Yeah, there it is.
Yep. We're not going to construct it on the podcast.
No, yeah.
But-
I never watched unboxing videos, but they must.
I think they do them in a better way.
Yeah, they must like unpack it first and then put it back
Yeah.
in the box or something.
I think
'cause-
that most things come constructed.
Really?
I think so.
Most of the stuff I've gotten, it's not.
Really?
My chair wasn't.
Well, yeah, chair, but I mean,
Yeah.
like normally it's like a phone or a
Oh,
PC, like something
yeah.
expensive.
Also, yeah, I guess people
Yeah.
will probably watch unboxings because they want to.
They want the expensive.
They wish they could buy the phone or the.
Yeah,
laptop or
nobody's
whatever.
looking at the fan. I mean,
It's an
people
expensive
can
fan.
go to Walmart and get a fan. This is an expensive
Yeah.
fan, that's true. I think they'd be more likely to watch a review. Maybe in episode 9 we'll have a
Yeah.
review of the fan.
Your review of the fan.
My review, yeah. 'Cause
Review
this
of
is
your
the third-
spending choices.
This is the 3rd fan I've tried, so
Jeez, yeah.
you know, hopefully it's going to be the first one I don't return.
Mhm.
All right, but now that we've
Yeah.
done that, let's do the card. Let's see what we
Yes.
have.
Yeah. All right. The 10 of spades.
Okay.
Okay. Polar bear excursion or African safari? Is the question.
Interesting. Polar bear excursion or African safari?
It's weird.
Not really sure what it means. I know what an African safari is. Polar bear
Yeah,
excursion, I assume.
excursion.
You just go to the North Pole and look at polar bears.
Yeah.
I would
And-
definitely choose African safari
yeah.
then.
I feel like there's like not that many polar bears. You have
No,
to like,
and-
really travel a lot to find a single one.
And it sounds very miserable to be that cold all the time. Even though
Yeah.
it'd be hot in Africa, at least you'd have some sun.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't be dying in the cold.
yeah,
Yeah,
you could
'cause-
definitely. Yeah, I feel like Africa's just a cooler place. And
There is
a
infrastructure
lot more
there.
animals.
There's infrastructure in Africa.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can
also,
see a
yeah.
lot more on Africa Safari than
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
Polar Bear Excursion. So
Definitely
easy,
African safari.
easy question. I don't know why Jordan let this card remain in the pile.
Oh, did she go through
Yeah,
them?
she went
No.
through, and I think she removed the one that was really bad. It was like
Oh.
tell 2 truths and a lie. It was something dumb.
That's not even that bad.
No, it was a dumb
But-
one. There was something bad. There
I
was
feel like
something
there could
really
be
bad in there.
worse. Yeah.
It could have been worse, but maybe it was like play a game or something. I forget exactly
Oh,
what. It was
yeah.
just something that wasn't very interesting
Yeah.
that we wouldn't want to do.
This was decent.
It was okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't that good though.
But actually,
Yeah.
it does kind of lead into something I want to talk about.
Okay.
Like a month ago, after we were gonna do another podcast episode, but okay. Do you want to do the guava thing before I start on a very
you
long
revealed
story?
the second guest,
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
but the second guest is a guava. I have never tried a
sorry.
guava.
Yes.
So here we have one.
Yeah.
It it doesn't look great just right off the bat.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Kind of small and shriveled.
Did you wash it?
I did. I
Okay.
rinsed it out,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's why it's wet. Yeah.
So is there like a big pit in there or something?
No, so it's basically just a bunch of little seeds.
Louis has tried his guava already. So
Yeah, I did.
this
And
will
I
be-
ate mine like an apple.
Yeah, this will be the first. I don't trust this skin, honestly.
Yeah, the skin looks dirty, but it tasted fine.
All right, well, okay. Here we go. Let's just cut this into some slices.
I also ate like
Oh,
almost all of it, except for the two ends.
that.
Yeah.
That looks decent. It could be worse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very
Alright.
pleasant pink.
Let's try half of this each, and we'll see.
Sure.
Louis' review for his second guava, and mine for the first.
Yes. Don't
Alright.
bite too hard on the seeds, 'cause
Oh.
you'll break a tooth.
All right. Okay.
I'll see your mic.
Yeah, the mic.
Yeah.
It's shitty. All right. Here we go. Hmm. You're right about the seeds. You can
Yeah.
break a tooth.
I don't think this one's as ripe as the one I had. It's a little sour,
Mm-hmm.
but it's good.
And the skin tastes exactly like something I've had before. What is that? It's a very... Oh, it's like a mint or basil leaf. Have you ever had those?
Oh.
Like a basil leaf? I think
I think
that's
so.
what this
Yeah.
tastes like.
Yeah,
Yep.
I can see that.
It tastes exactly like a basil leaf. The skin. That's interesting. I don't like it that much. I like the inside more, but...
Mhm. Yeah,
skin's
the skin's a
kinda
little sour and bitter.
Mhm.
Kind of.
The seeds aren't nice, but
I don't like
let's,
seeds.
let's get a bigger piece.
Honestly, I probably wouldn't buy them again if
Probably not.
they didn't have a lot of vitamin C. Like, you guys are interested in health stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You need a certain amount of vitamin C every day. And since it's like a water soluble thing, you need to get it every day. You can't just get a bunch at the beginning of the week or whatever. And so they say, oranges and stuff like that have a lot of vitamin C. But if you eat a single orange, in order to get enough vitamin C, you have to eat like 3 oranges every day to get.
And that
Your
doesn't sound
recommended
feasible.
I mean, you could.
So what's
but
happening to
that's-
everybody? Like, what's happening to people? Because
I
I'm
th-
not eating 3 oranges.
Oh, I think you also get it from like leafy greens and stuff.
I'm not eating
but-
leafy greens.
But yeah, I think a lot of people probably are just deficient. And it's like I don't know if
What's
it's.
the downside. What happens?
I think it's bad for your immune system and stuff.
Oh,
But I don't know like too much about the really like
I assume.
bad health.
I
health
assume
effects.
that of all the vitamins, vitamin C is a very absorbable one, like one that's very common, like
Mhm.
perhaps even in a multivitamin you could get in
Mhm.
absorbable form.
Yeah.
Is that why?
Yeah, multivitamins have a lot of it probably.
Vitamin C, actual.
I think it's cheap to make.
yeah.
Even some candy has it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Gummies.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Hmm.
But yeah, anyway, oranges, leafy greens are like decent. You have to eat like a good bit.
Yeah.
But you have a single guava, and it's like more than you need. I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
And it's like 6 times as much as an orange. It's just something
Pretty
insane.
good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Or
The
at
seeds
least
are
by the
annoying
weight.
though.
Yeah, the seeds suck.
Hmm.
But apparently, I think it's. I need to confirm this. But I think it's actually the rind has most of the vitamin C.
Really? Of course, it's the gross part.
Hmm.
I don't want to eat it. Like, it doesn't taste very good. It's just like eating a bunch of basil. I don't know.
I mean, Italian cuisine has a lot of basil in it.
It does, and it's like it's not a fruit. It's a dessert.
Yeah.
This should be on pasta. That would be interesting. Guava pasta. I would eat that. Yeah.
Instead of tomatoes, you just use guava for the sauce.
Yeah.
I can see.
Or add
That'd be
some
really good.
guava. Like,
Yeah.
grind it up.
I guess
Sprinkle it on top.
they make mango salsa.
They do.
That's only one step away from tomato sauce.
It's close. It's
Mhm.
close. I don't know. Yeah, it's not very Italian, but all right.
No.
Yeah. So what was the thing that you wanted to get
Mm.
to?
I guess we'll eat the rest of this later.
Yeah. No, we can eat it now. We can eat
All
it.
right.
We'll eat it real quick. All right.
Mm.
No? No?
Oh no, you can keep eating. I just
Okay,
wanna-
okay. All right, say your thing.
It's kind of
Say
a
your
long. It's a long stream. Okay.
thing. Okay.
Speaking of the African safari and stuff,
Hmm?
I'm watching.
Wait.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
What?
I remembered because of the fruit.
Yeah.
I just started watching another podcast, and I'm going to shout it out here.
Okay.
Fruit Talk by Bubune. And he was yeah, you remember what I'm talking about. It's
I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And I remember.
It's some guy who went to my high school. Bubune, if you're watching this, I hadn't kept up with you at all until I saw, like, for some reason, your podcast showed up in my feed on Instagram. I watched the first episode. It was good. I like it. I saw you have a clothing brand, Be Your Best. It's very cool. I would consider sponsoring that clothing brand if you sent me any free merch.
Well,
so there you go.
that's what I-
Bubune. You probably don't see this podcast, but
I found the first episode very interesting.
shout out to the Fruit Talk podcast. And
Yeah.
episode 2 is out, I believe. Episode 3 on the way. So
Nice.
stay tuned. Yeah.
I will stay tuned.
All right.
So yeah, I was gonna talk about a different speaker.
Okay.
Maybe doesn't eat fruit as much,
All
but
right.
Terence McKenna, who some people probably recognize the name.
I've heard of him.
This guy who talked a lot about psychedelics and their use in culture, and trying to
Oh yeah.
change society into like a more, like kind of making society more whole and like fixing a lot of the issues that we have.
That sounds nice.
And one of the, well, he calls it a theory, but I think it's technically like a hypothesis or whatever. But something he's known for sort of thinking of was the stoned ape theory.
Oh yeah.
The idea that basically part of human evolution was eating mushrooms and stuff, and it kind of caused us to become like the sentient communicating things that we are.
Sparked our consciousness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know how much like of the story or like how detailed of a story you want me to tell about it, but
It's not what I want. It's what the viewers want.
Yeah, okay.
Marky
Okay.
wants a very detailed story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
to be fair, I watched this like a month ago,
Okay.
so I kind of have forgotten some details of it.
Understandable.
But yeah, so basically the idea is that
Wait, what did you watch? A podcast of him or like a
it's
movie
like
he
a
made?
it was more like it's like a speech that he did, but there's no video of it. It's just like
Okay.
audio with like a
Okay, so kind of like a podcast.
it's like a
then.
painting and the YouTube video of it.
Nice.
But yeah, basically it's a really long like TED talk. I'm sure it's like a lecture, I guess.
Okay.
He's not a professor.
Cool.
But yeah, so it's essentially, in the ancient times when humans were first evolving, when we were still like apes living in trees and stuff but like at the time, African rainforests and stuff.
Yeah.
As the global climate started to change, things dried up and all the trees started dying out, and there were larger like grassy areas where there wasn't as much tree cover, and humans, or like the early humans, would have been vulnerable to predators and things. So they started to have to sort of experiment with different ways of living, different food sources,
And
they
more
couldn't.
mushrooms.
Yeah, and things
Okay.
like just basically eating things off the ground and seeing if they were edible or not.
Nice.
And part of that change was also, what were you gonna say?
I'm surprised
Yeah.
they weren't experimenting with those already. Just because they were living in a tree, they wouldn't eat the mushrooms on the ground. Like
They would have. I think they weren't. Maybe they didn't exist
there wasn't
at
as
the
much
time.
pressure. To
Yeah, I don't know if there were like psychedelic mushrooms at the time, or like they weren't as
Wow.
common. Or I think there also would have been better food
So
sources.
the asteroid that brought them hadn't hit yet. That's
Yeah, sure. but yeah, along with the creation of the grasslands and stuff, there were a lot of herd animals.
Yep.
So sort of an ecosystem that formed was big groups of herd animals would go around the savannas and stuff, and humans would follow them and like pick ones off that were old or sick or something and eat them. And I don't know if you know this, but one of the traditional ways of finding psilocybin mushrooms is to look in cow pies,
Cow dung.
basically.
Cow
Yeah,
poop.
the big things of cow poop
Yep.
that mushrooms grow on. And it's reasonable to think that maybe these people following the herds of animals would see mushrooms growing on the cow pies.
Would they eat
And
the
eat them.
cow poop mushrooms?
They would. That's the idea.
Jesus,
Yeah.
that's disgusting.
Yeah, it's really gross, but
Wow.
it makes sense because that's where you find them, and that
Wow.
it would be. It's pretty reasonable to think that early humans were eating psychedelic mushrooms.
Do you think that some of the humans were experimenting and they would take the mushrooms and toss them to the side and just eat the poop? You think anyone did
They
that?
would probably think it was really gross. 'cause
Yeah,
I
probably.
think evolutionarily know that poop is.
There must have
bad,
been
yeah.
some kid who did that, and then
Maybe.
the village was like, "Get out of here!
Yeah,
Go walk
yeah.
away."
Yeah, but the thing is, if you eat the psychedelic mushrooms, at least in a low dose, it increases your visual acuity, makes you a better hunter and more aware of like things on the ground or things coming out over the horizon or something.
Yeah.
So
Why is that?
What do you mean?
Like, why does that happen when you have mushrooms? When you have a psychedelic?
I don't know. I think it's like
Like, do you think it
Yeah.
evolved because it was beneficial for us, and people who took them
yeah.
and became better hunters were better able to spread their genes, or is it just
Right.
like it did that from the beginning and that's what it does?
I don't know. Yeah, part of the thing that Terrence talks about, or I guess Terrence, I don't know how, not Professor McKenna or something, but like Terrence McKenna would talk about how they like humans and mushrooms essentially like evolved side by side, like as
Interesting.
more humans were eating them. Yeah, like I don't know how like humans eating them would cause them to spread more, but maybe I guess when you pick them up, it spreads the spores.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah,
as
the-
they traveled
yeah.
around the world, the mushrooms evolved with the humans, and
This is more talking about like before humans were traveling a lot. This is like really early on.
But since they've
Yeah.
traveled a lot, that's surely
Yeah, they probably
happened.
brought the mushrooms with them. Yeah.
In Japan and China, like in Asia,
Mhm.
they have shiitake mushrooms. They're much more slanted and
Hmm.
narrow mushrooms.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But they're not psychedelic.
No.
I think mushrooms are.
Oh,
like,
just psychedelic mushrooms.
Yeah, we're just talking about-
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like human. I think in general, mushrooms are a good food source.
Yeah.
But I'm talking like specifically the psychedelic ones.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, basically the idea is like humans evolved to be more like creative and start to use language and stuff like that. And all mushrooms also evolved to be stronger and like actually cause people to have like trips and stuff. Whereas early on it was probably just it made a little bit more like aware of things or like
Do you think that's
Yeah.
because we were breeding the mushrooms, kind of like we bred plants, and like corn used to be a really tiny, seedy thing, and
I
now
don't-
it's huge?
I think these days that's
Yeah.
true, but I don't think early on it wasn't. It was kind of just like an accidental thing.
Nowadays, as in like the past 10,000 years, or like the past
Yeah.
100 years? Okay.
Or
Oh, so you're talking about way back when?
yeah, like the very beginning of humanity, like
Wow.
before we had language.
Wow.
Yeah,
Before we had language, we were
Yeah.
eating psychedelic mushrooms.
Yeah, 'cause
Okay, the stoned ape theory. Yeah.
That's what I'm
Okay, we're
talking-
going way back then. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Yep.
I should have prefaced it a little bit better.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But yeah, because another thing is that I don't know, I didn't know this was the thing, but Terrence kind of said that one of the things that mushrooms can do is cause you to have I can't remember what it's called, but basically spontaneous expressions of language or so, like of weird sounds or something. Like you know how people talk about like speaking in tongues,
Like auditory hallucinations, or
You know, like you'll say something weird, like
oh,
people like you know the talking in tongue, like speaking in tongues thing.
yeah. I've
Like
heard
that sort of thing.
Like that's a biblical thing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
people would like do that, and like I think the idea was that was kind of the start of language. People would like make weird noises and shit and be like,
So how did
Yeah.
I mean? Don't monkeys kind of communicate with each other?
yeah, like they do, yeah.
But not
But-
with the language.
not with language,
necessarily.
yeah.
But they kind of like have transactions and they know what
Yeah,
they're
like they
doing.
do gestures and stuff. Like
Yeah. Huh.
yeah.
Wow.
But they
so-
they never have like a really like grammatical language or anything really
okay.
complex.
They're not like having conversations with each other
I don't think
that
so.
we know of. Okay.
Yeah.
Are dolphins doing that? I think.
I
they
wonder about
I think
dolphins,
dolphins might be because they are making sounds.
Yeah, and they definitely
Yeah.
seem like I think there's something about them having like dialects of speech
Yeah,
and stuff.
I think so. From
Yeah.
different areas, they have different ways
Yeah.
of making those little
Yeah,
Yeah.
weird like
dolphins. I won't attempt to make the dolphins.
yeah,
sound,
no,
but-
like the
yeah,
they like whistling and like weird.
yeah,
type of
no, they
stuff,
have
yeah.
cool. They have a cool way of talking. I think.
But yeah, I feel like yeah, I don't know. I think dolphins are really smart. So I wouldn't be surprised if they had some sort of language.
And octopi.
Octopi, yeah.
Octopi, yeah.
They're pretty smart too. But
Yeah. Which are more
Yeah.
smart, octopi or
definitely dolphins, I think. Because
Dolphins.
octopi are like they have big brains and stuff. Or like they have the potential to be smart. But I think
Mhm.
they don't live very long. It's only like 5 years or something.
Wow.
So they don't have time to like
To learn.
To, like-
They're
to,
just
like-
little children.
yeah, like they don't have time to like develop
Okay, that's too
right,
bad.
like yeah, like communication and like wisdom and stuff. Or
What
whatever.
about elephants? I think elephants are
Yeah.
really smart.
Yeah, because they live for a long time too.
Yeah. And someone did a study on elephants
Mm.
and scanned their brains, and the same part of the elephant's brain lights up
Mhm.
when they look at a human as lights up in a human when a human looks at something that's cute, like a cat
Oh,
or a
that's
little
cool.
baby. Yeah. So the
Yeah.
elephants think that humans are just these
Yeah.
little cute things.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. That's
Nice.
cool. That's why they let us ride on their backs and
yeah.
hunt them. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we would let a cat ride on our back or
Or
something.
we hold our cat. We hold
Yeah,
cats, yeah.
Yeah, I guess elephants can't carry us like that, but
Yeah. But with their
But yeah.
trunk, maybe they would.
maybe. Yeah.
They might pick you up and put you on their back.
I don't know if they do that.
Probably not. That's
I
only in
don't
the
know, I don't
movies.
know.
That's in the movies. all
Yeah,
right.
definitely in movies. Yeah, yeah, but but yeah, it's a really cool idea that like there really is a distinct difference between, at least from a human point of view, there's definitely a distinct difference between us and other animals, at least in the terms of having a language. Like dolphins might, but we know that chimps are pretty much
Don't
incapable.
really do it.
Yeah.
What about that chimp that they taught sign language?
No, so I watched a video about that.
Yeah.
And
it's
it
just
sounds
bullshit?
really nice, but it's kind of bullshit.
Like the chimp is just like doing shit to get grapes, right?
Yeah,
Just
or
moving
was-
its hands. How
Was
it
it the,
needs
the
to.
one? There's like Coco the gorilla.
Yep, that's the one.
Who yeah, so I think a lot of the evidence was from like I think they wrote papers and stuff about however many words Coco could learn and identify and stuff like that,
Mm.
and that she could make sentences and things like that. But the issue is that literally all the data was from her trainer, who I don't remember her name, but it was some lady
Yep.
who was obviously in love with the chimp or the gorilla like it was a child.
Yep.
Because obviously it's like basically it's nearly a human.
It wasn't a blind study.
Yeah, it's like a very
Yeah.
biased because
Yeah.
it's like basically her child is making vague sign language things.
Like,
It's
she's
like-
talking to me. Even people,
Yeah.
people think their dogs are
Right.
talking to them
Yeah.
and like trying to tell them things sometimes. So
Yeah, and it's like it's not like the dog doesn't the dog might be thinking,
Yeah.
or not like not thinking verbally, but thinking like, I want this, or this
Yeah.
should happen.
But
And
it's
the
not
gorilla's probably
talking.
thinking the same thing, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's not. It doesn't have the capacity to really make a sentence. But the issue is that you can really read really far into things.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit of information. Yeah.
Have you seen those videos? I think they're mostly on TikTok, actually,
I'm not then.
where the dog, its owner has set up a bunch of different buttons
Oh,
in the
actually,
room
yeah.
attached to words, and the dog can press certain buttons to make sentences.
Yeah.
Is that just fake? Did the owner
I've heard
just
of that,
say,
yeah.
like, they set up all the buttons and they teach the
Right.
dog, like, all right, press these 3 in this order to make the sentence, and then they have a 30-second video that's impressive?
Yeah. I think it's
I think it's potentially fake.
it might be fake. I mean, probably a lot of it is like cherry picking. Like
Yeah,
they'll
like,
record it every time, and sometimes they'll do something
yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
But I think a decent amount of it is the same exact thing of the dog presses a couple buttons and they're like
And they get a treat.
presses like there's one where like the dog was confused about someone ringing the doorbell and they're like stranger scared and like, wow, you're scared of the stranger. It's like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
they're just saying 2 random things.
Yeah.
that you turn into a sentence. Yeah,
Yeah, for real.
It's really. I
But
think it's not that really.
sometimes isn't it like a real thing? Like, how
Oh.
are you today?
No.
Like, something like that. Like, it tries to have a conversation with the person.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
That's
it's gotten-
right.
I think it's gotten pretty big now at
Yeah.
this point. Like, I think that person's
No.
probably making a lot of money off of
Yeah.
these videos and
Yeah.
set up a couple hundred buttons around the
Right,
house. And
just like with the gorilla. Yeah, like
Yeah.
if you're making a profit off of it.
yeah,
or just fame.
was that person making a profit off?
or
Coco?
not profit, but like actually, I'm sure
Potentially
yeah,
government
they
grants.
probably
and
hire
stuff.
like they would probably like pay to have Coco the gorilla come to your birthday party.
No
or something.
way.
No,
That
no,
is
I was
the
gonna say
biggest waste of.
no. There was one thing where it was some like climate change thing where like it was like a really
gorilla.
patched together video of Coco giving some message about
No.
like they have to save nature.
Jeez.
If we had Jamie, we could pull it up.
Yeah, we
But it's the
could.
craziest thing.
Oh
It's like
my God.
it cuts every single word. It's just like word by word. It's like Coco is nature, save the world or something.
Yeah.
It is so.
So it's
fake.
just like all cut together.
Yeah, it's like jump
Oh
cuts.
my god!
like
no.
word by. Oh, it's not literally word by word, but it's like more or less. Yeah.
I feel like a gorilla should be smart enough so that we could kind of teach how to use a little
Yeah.
bit of sign language, like
And yeah.
actually though.
I think the thing is like I think Coco actually did learn words because I think chimps too are like they're
Yeah.
able to associate words and stuff,
Yeah.
but they just can't really make sentences. Like they can't really go past. Or as far as I know,
Maybe they just can't
yeah.
talk about the future. Like they
Yeah, I think it's something like they can't.
they can just say
Yeah.
help or like I'm hungry.
Yeah, like they can't really go past like the immediate
Yeah.
sentence or like the immediate desire or something.
Like they wouldn't understand what do you want to do tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Because I believe
don't
that
know.
like maybe like
Mhm.
if they were teaching it sign language and it really knew these hand gestures to make, like it must have been thinking
Yeah.
something along the lines of like, all right, this means like da da da. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
some kind of response that I get when I make this symbol, at least from other people.
yeah, like they
Yeah.
definitely knew like a word for like an orange or whatever, but they didn't know like
Like they
had the-
couldn't talk about like, hey, let's farm
Yeah.
oranges.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or like just sorry, kid. There's like one meme that's it. It's not really a meme. It's just like a out of context clip of something about like some other like chimp they taught sign language, and it's like so and so's longest recorded sentence was like you give eat orange, me eat orange, give eat or something like that. And
It's just a
like-
really greedy gorilla.
it's just say the same like 5 words in
Yeah.
a random order for like a minute. It's so funny.
That's good.
But yeah, I think it's like, yeah, like they don't know like the concept like the abstract, like what you would do with an orange other than eating.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's also just the grammar just is not there. Like they just get eating, giving an orange, and the fact that there is an orange that you can eat.
And
But
I think
yeah.
also potentially a lot of what might have been going on with the sign language gorillas and any animal
Yeah.
that learns to talk is like with the gorilla, they teach it a hand gesture and it makes that hand gesture and they ask it like, how are you? And
Yeah.
it makes the hand gesture good.
Yeah.
Oh, well, here's a grape then.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you feel today? Good. Here's another grape.
Right.
What's the weather like? It's good. Here's a grape. It's like they just keep feeding it.
Right.
And it makes these hand gestures and whatever it says, like they're feeding
Yeah.
it grape, so it's going to keep making them. Like,
Right. Obviously. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably a difference between like, yeah, it's just like a reward of like just giving them food because they say something rather than
Yeah, like
yeah.
it's not necessarily thinking about what it's asking for. It just like
Yeah.
says these things and knows it gets food.
Yeah, it's not like I imagine like a human child that's learning to speak would like get like the gratification of just knowing that someone else understood them instead of
Yeah.
like I feel like when like a child is learning like languages and stuff, they're not just asking for food. They're asking like they're trying to say something to their parent and like seeing if their parent understands them or if they're using the words right and stuff.
Well, have we ever tried giving animals or like monkeys or apes any kind of psychedelic substances? Have we ever done experiments with that?
I'm not
That'd
sure.
be very
actually.
cool,
Yeah.
right? If they started talking, and,
Yeah, I would. That'd be crazy.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, I don't know if
Someone ought to be researching
someone
this.
must have been like the 50s or something.
Terrence McKenna ought to be doing this right now.
He's dead.
Like, yeah,
actually. Yeah, he died. He had like a brain tumor.
Wow.
He died like a while ago. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, someone
But-
ought to be doing it.
But no, I'm sure.
Yeah.
There's no way somebody hasn't.
I mean, it's illegal, right? So
Probably
a lot of the
illegal,
stuff has
yeah.
been illegal.
Yeah, the drugs are illegal, and probably giving it
So
to an
not
animal.
in the United States, at least.
Yeah,
People have
yeah.
been doing it, but
But no, yeah, I'd be curious because like
is it a worldwide
Yeah.
thing? Are drugs illegal in every country?
I don't know. I think
I know in like a lot of the
Yeah.
developed ones, like in Japan,
Mhm.
you can't even have Adderall in Japan. I think
Yeah,
one
right.
of the Olympic athletes who used Adderall to
Yeah.
treat some condition
Mhm.
wasn't allowed to have it in the country, and so they forfeited. They just
Yeah, the
dropped out.
gymnasts,
They quit. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think probably a lot of countries are worse than the U.S.
Yeah.
I think maybe some are better. Like I know Portugal or something has everything decriminalized.
Yep. Yep.
But I think other than that,
Is there anywhere in Africa where it's just like,
Yeah, I don't
we've
know.
got bigger problems, man. We
I don't,
can't,
yeah, I'm not sure
we
actually.
can't
Like,
deal with drugs right now.
yeah, I wonder. I
We
think
need
a
to
lot
get
of
the guns off the street.
Yeah, I think this may be I don't know that much about the whole situation in the various African countries, but
Yeah.
I think a lot of their governments are kind of just like almost put in place by other countries.
Yeah.
Like
Oh.
originally,
yeah.
like the British or
Yep.
whatever, and now us,
Okay.
and then China.
That makes sense.
So they probably mirror the laws that we have
That
in
makes
terms of
sense.
like various things.
Well,
like
what's
that.
really interesting is the
Mhm.
Opium War in China.
Mhm.
Like Britain was fighting to keep opium legal in China,
Oh.
and China wanted to get rid of it because it was really taking its toll on the population.
Yeah.
And everyone was addicted to British opium,
Mhm.
and Britain was making it so that they were fighting
Yeah.
a war to keep it legal in the other country. It was
Right,
very
'cause they wanna
yeah.
make money
They
and
want to make money. Yeah,
make them less productive. They're
Yeah.
all on opium.
that was very interesting. So
I didn't know about that.
yeah, potentially other countries might have legal substances.
Oh, that we can like pawn
Yeah.
off to them.
Yeah, I mean, I
Or-
think right now in Afghanistan,
Mhm.
Afghanistan produces like 94% of the world's opium.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And the U.S., the soldiers used to be standing around the poppy fields guarding the poppies.
Oh,
And not allowed to destroy them because then the people would turn on the soldiers. So,
really?
yeah.
Wow.
So that's how the U.S. was doing it.
That's
And I
interesting.
assume that the U.S. is making some money from that.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah, if there's fields of opium, there's plenty of profits to be made.
Somewhere in the CIA, someone's getting very
Yeah.
rich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with all the pharmaceutical companies and stuff.
Yeah.
Handing out opiates like
Yeah,
it's
I wonder
candy.
where they got the
Yeah.
ingredients for
Yeah.
those. Huh? Yeah.
Jeez.
Well,
Yeah.
we have reached right around where I believe the camera will be turning off soon.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Right,
But
let's
this was a good one. Our first
Yeah.
two guests on the podcast right here. You can see the remnants of one and the unput together parts of another.
Yes.
So
Showing the past forms of life that we
Yeah.
evolved from and the future.
the future forms of life that
machines.
will take over.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed Marky, then leave another comment like you have in the past,
Mhm.
and
Or fudge.
or Fudge, whoever that is. That's
Yes.
I think it's Jay.
It was James.
I think yeah.
It
All
was the
right.
imposter.
Well, yeah, we
Yeah.
can use everybody's names. It's only M's name that we can
Yeah,
use, right?
yes.
M.
What's the James Bond? The
I'm Bond, James Bond.
no,
Is it?
the his like boss or whatever is like M or something.
Oh yeah, I think it is just.
Is
M.
it literally just M?
I
Yeah.
think it's M.
Yes. So M from James
Yeah.
Bond cannot be mentioned.
We need to watch some of the James Bond movies.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I've only seen Skyfall.
I haven't seen Skyfall.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll rewatch that after Rick and Morty. So
Yeah.
thank you
yes.
guys. We'll see you in the next
Yes,
one.
thank
Bye.
you.